Hello, everyone. Friends, I have another mystical story for you, which was told to me by the oldest residents of the town of Hoi An. In the heart of central Vietnam lies the ancient town of Hoi An, a place where walls whisper stories and rooftops seem to hold their breath, waiting for the next chapter of myth to unfold. This is not just a city of lanterns and quiet streets. It is a living tapestry, where architecture and legend are woven into one. Hoi An's streets, laid out in an elegant grid, reflect centuries of cultural exchange. Chinese temples with curled dragon eaves, Japanese wooden bridges with symbolic guardians, French colonial facades with pastel-colored shutters. Yet, beneath the visual harmony lies something older, deeper, a spiritual rhythm shaped by ancient beliefs. In the quiet marshlands and winding rivers of Vietnam's Mekong Delta, there are stories that linger like mist, not written in books, not taught in schools, just carried in whispers from generation to generation. One of the most haunting of these is the legend of the ghost merchants who trade not for profit, but for something no living man can understand. They say that sometimes, just after sunset, strange figures appear at remote floating markets, people who look almost real, almost human. Their faces are half hidden beneath conical non-la hats. Their clothes are colorless, as though bleached by time, and their boats glide through the water without a ripple, without a sound. These merchants are always polite. They speak softly, and when they speak, their voices seem distant, like echoes from a long corridor. They offer rare goods, silks that shimmer even in the dark, spices that warm the body without heat, rice that never spoils, and always at low prices, far too low. But there's something strange in their manner, something off, and if you look closely, you might notice they cast no shadow. Locals say these are not ordinary traders. They are ghosts, souls of merchants who died at sea, who drowned during floods, or were lost in war, forever tied to the trade they loved. Unwilling or unable to let go, they return night after night, driven by habits stronger than death. But there are rules, unspoken yet deeply respected. Do not ask them where they come from. Do not ask their names. And never, ever follow them. Years ago, in a village near Chao Joc, a young trader named Nam ignored these rules. He was ambitious, clever, and always looking for a new source of profit. One night, as the fog rolled in, he saw a group of unfamiliar merchants unloading fine goods onto the dock. They sold silk that felt like water and candles that burned with blue flames. Nam tried to ask questions. They didn't answer. Intrigued, he decided to follow them discreetly after they left. He trailed their boat through a winding canal until the waterway began to twist in unnatural directions. The trees along the bank bent the wrong way, and strange lights flickered beneath the surface. The air turned heavy, thick like syrup. The boat finally disappeared behind a curtain of mist, and Nam was left alone. The path behind him had vanished. No sound, no movement, only stillness. He was found days later, sitting silently near a ruined shrine deep in the jungle. His hair had turned completely white. He never spoke again, except to mutter one thing. They are not alive. They're stuck between here and there. Since then, the villagers have been cautious. On certain nights, especially during the Hungry Ghost Festival or near the new moon, they avoid the markets altogether. They say the ghost merchants still come, still offer their wares to those who dare to trade, and once in a while, someone new disappears. But not all encounters are dangerous. Some believe that if you buy something from the ghost merchants and treat it with respect, never selling it, never discarding it. It can bring fortune or protection, a charm from another world. Yet if you mock them or refuse to pay, or try to expose their truth, the consequences can be terrifying. Sudden illness, lost memories, or simply vanishing without a trace. Even now, travelers on the Mekong sometimes speak of eerie figures drifting silently in boats that don't disturb the water, of markets that appear in places where there are none by day, of strange goods that smell of river mist and incense, and always that unsettling feeling that you are being watched, not with malice, but with deep, endless patience. So if you ever find yourself on the water, far from town, and a trader offers you something too perfect to be real, remember the old warnings. Be polite, don't ask questions, and never follow them home. Because not all merchants come from the world of the living, and some never left the river. In Vietnam, a tree is never just a tree. A river is not merely water flowing downhill. A mountain is more than rock. Here, the world is alive in every sense. The wind speaks, stones remember, and the forest listens. Nature is not separate from spirit. It is spirit. Long before organized religion reached these lands, the Vietnamese people lived by a quiet faith rooted in the rhythms of the earth. It wasn't written in books or etched in temples, but passed down through gestures, stories, and offerings left beneath trees. It is a belief that everything has a soul, a Linh Hồn, and to live in balance, you must honor it. Subscribe to the HopCoast channel so that you don't miss other mystical stories that permeate the ancient streets of Vietnam.